So as usual, we've got the chat open. When we communicate in chat, we'll jump onto that. Um, so today, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the session around using Canva for video. So we've touched on it before with other sessions, but we're just going to dive deeper into using video, editing video, and so on. So the course intent is to understand Canva video creator, which is part of the Canvas suite. So we're going to look at that. Nicola, you got your hand up? You okay?
Hi, Abila. Would it be possible to have these slides so we can make notes as you're going along, please?
Yeah, I can give the slides at the end, okay, not
Oh,
at the beginning. Um, the reason for that is basically the session itself is important to be on, and what we don't want is to have the slide in advance because some people may just kind of use a slide and not attend. So it's just what we do here. So at the end of the session, I can put the slide in the actual chat for you to download. Is that okay?
oh, okay. It's just that as I have the slides, I write notes in the slides. That was all.
All
But
right.
and
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That people might take the slides and then log off.
Yeah, log off or have the. I'm not saying you guys will, but it's just we have to set some ground rules, and it's just one of those, unfortunately. But your slides will appear in your booking form, but because some people wanted the slides early, the best I can do is give you at the end of the session. Okay. But if you write some notes and just kind of put the number, the slide number, and you can just put them on at the end. Okay. Right. So the course intent is to understand Canva's video section. So basically, it has some features for video. So we're going to explore that. We're going to see how the actual platform operates, be able to create high quality videos. I'll give you tips around that. For social media, and then being able to optimize your content for different uses. Okay. So, what is Canva? Well, a lot of us have used Canva in other sessions, but some of you have been using Canva even before you were on this course. But I'll just kind of give you an introduction to Canva. So, Canva is an online design platform that allows anyone from beginner to professional to create a wide range of visual content, such as graphics, presentations, social media posts, and videos. It uses friendly uh, drag and drop based features. So basically, you can just drag and drop different things like icons and videos. You can just drag and drop. It's literally just dragging from the section where it shows you the videos to your timeline. So I'll show how that works. So has anybody not used Canva before? If you just want to type into the chat, if you've used it, just type yes. If you haven't, type no. And if you're quite new, just let me know as well. If it's like, oh, I've used it, but I'm very new. Okay. Used it twice, once yesterday. Okay. So there's a few people that it is new. Okay. So for them, okay, use it all the time. Okay. Some people have used it more than others, which is fine. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Cool. All right. Just a reminder, just keep yourself on mute during the session. And if you've got anything to say, you can put your hand up, and then in that way, we're not talking over each other. So, why use Canva for video? Now, Canva obviously has the video editing tool in there, but it's also used for other things, obviously like presentations, and you can use it for like we did yesterday in one of the sessions. We used it for brand guides. Branding guidelines. So these kind of presentations you can download as documents, you can download as PPT for PowerPoint. You can download them as videos, images, all sorts of stuff. And there are other software applications out there for video. You've got Adobe Premiere Pro, you've got Final Cut Pro, you've got also Camtasia, and there's others. Okay, there's plenty of there's CapCut as well. So there's different types of editing software out there, and each have their own advantages. Some of them are, basically when using Adobe Premiere Pro, you've got Adobe After Effects as well for special effects, and a lot of you know professionals use that for movies. Final Cut Pros and that, for Apple. So there's some out there that have been around for a long time, and you've got new versions coming all the time. Can you say that list? Alternatives, please, again, or is it? It's not on the slide, so I'll give you the alternatives. Canva's the easiest one, okay? Canva's is the easiest one, but there are others, and they are expensive as well. So if you're a professional video creator and you want to, I guess if you're creating videos for social media, I would say consider CapCut because it does have a lot of special effects and also filters and text modes that you can use for example, TikTok. You can also use it for YouTube Shorts. So CapCut is a good one. If you're thinking of going in, towards video editing as a profession, then you can consider things like Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay. Yeah, it is very expensive, but the Adobe Suite. And I think you have to have like a subscription now as well. So they all work on a subscription model. Yeah, so CapCut, Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and this Camtasia. I use Camtasia for um, mainly like creating tutorials. It's limited on the effects and everything, but it's quite simple. It allows me to connect my mic. So I've got a microphone. I don't know if you can just about see it. Okay. So I've got a professional microphone and that connects nicely with um it connects nicely with Camtasia. Some softwares are designed for certain things like podcasting as well. So it has more features with it, audio. So what we're gonna do, which one are we looking at, Nicola?
It was the one you just said. I didn't quite hear what you said.
Camtasia.
How do you spell that?
I'll just type it into the chat for you. Camtasia. That's how you spell it. And I think the cost is around £200. Okay. But the Adobe ones can be far more expensive. But I think they use subscription models now. Okay, so there's quite a few out there. But obviously, if you're new to it all and you just want to kind of do simple edits, I would consider Canva first. So we're going to cover Canva. So why use Canva for video? Well, ease of use, I would say that's the main reason. It simplifies a lot of the processes. A lot of the functionality that is there is for free. There's some features that are premium. So I would say use it until you get to the point where you need a premium feature, and then think, okay, do I really need this? If you really need it, then obviously consider purchasing the premium. I think there's a monthly subscription, but you can also pay for the year with Canva. But it all depends on your needs. So, do you need video content? Personally, I would, again, it depends on what you're doing and what's your intention. But if you're creating content, um, if you look at video, audio, text, images, out of all these different types of medium, each has its own strengths. Okay. And I would say video is the most powerful. Okay. However, audio in this day and age, audio also has its benefits because people are busy. People can't always sit and watch a whole video. But the nature of videos on social media nowadays is that it's very short. Okay, marketers need to understand that the attention span is very limited. It's like very short. I mean, we can look on Google. I mean, actually, I'll give you a task right now. Go on the internet and try to find out what the attention span is right now when it comes to social media.
It's
Um,
under 1 minute. I looked it up
it's
just
definitely
now.
under 1 minute. It's a few seconds. But see if you can find any facts. I think it's like either 3 seconds or it can't be 3 seconds. Maybe you never know. But I think it's around 5 to 8 seconds or something. Last time I checked, could be shorter now. Yeah, so eight. That's the average human attention span. 8.25 seconds. So you can see how quickly you need to grab attention. Even with a website, like you literally have to grab people's attention because they can, move away from it, but with one click. It's just that one click and you've lost that person. So the attention span is very, very short. Okay. So I think we've got some stats here actually. Okay. To add some context, to need the okay, let me read that again because to add some context to the need of high quality video, here are some statistics. Okay, so adding a product video to your landing page can increase conversion by 80%. Okay, so you can see how powerful video is. 86% of marketing professionals say video content boosts traffic to their website. It is estimated that by the end of 20, okay, so we've passed that. So 2022 video content made up more than 82% of all consumer tr internet traffic. So obviously with the rise of YouTube and then you've got TikTok and other platforms that are mainly video, it's going to increase. And I think TikTok had a big part to play when we're looking at that year by the end of 2022. 94% of marketers agree that video has increased user understanding of their product or service. Okay, so that's all right. So if you haven't missed much yet, okay, so you're good. Okay, so we're just talking about video and why it's so important. Okay, basically we need to grab attention, and video really works well when it comes to marketing. Okay, so let's see who we've got here. So some of you are on camera, some of you aren't. Okay, since we're talking about video, what I want to mention is these sessions are actually very valuable for you to practice. Okay, and what I mean by that is practice being on camera. Okay, because we're not all comfortable being on camera. I understand that, but when you're working in media or you're working in social media, digital marketing, I would say see it as a challenge. Okay, challenge yourself and come out of that comfort zone if you can. Okay, the comfort zone, obviously, it's called the comfort zone because it's comfortable. We like to do what we're used to doing. We don't want to come out of that. And sometimes it's like people judging you. You don't want, people saying things. But what I can tell you is, look, I've said this before. Your tribe is your tribe. You're not gonna hear, well, you will hear some negativity in comments and all this, but a lot of it's trolls, okay? A lot of it's coming from people who really want to pull other people down. So you just ignore them because they are not the people who will be like following you or using your products in the first place. So try to challenge yourself to come on camera and just kind of be here, have that presence and just it'll give you that confidence, okay? Because this is not you going live to your audience, but at least you're around other people who are learning and nobody's judging anyone here. So if you're comfortable or if you want to challenge yourself, there is that opportunity, okay? So we're talking about video and the power of video. It is very powerful because you get facial expressions, you get visuals that make sense. If you can put some video together that actually, you know, explains everything, okay? You don't have to have, text on the screen, but you can use text as well, but you can also use a voiceover, okay? So combining all of these properly, it should be entertaining, it should be informative. Obviously, it depends on what kind of content you're creating, but ideally, you want to grab somebody's attention and give something to them, like whether it's entertainment or whether it's value, and it is for marketing, the conversion rates are very, very high. So we cannot ignore video. We need to consider it. So video editing with Canva. Okay, Canva has multiple pages and tools available, and the video editor can be found with this link. So I'm going to just click on that link. It's going to go there, and what I'll do is I'll copy that link and I'll post it into the chat as well. Okay. You can open it in another browser. We're not going to explore it yet, but you can open it in another browser. You can bookmark it as well. Okay, so that will take you directly to your video section, video editor section. Okay, so that link's in the chat. Okay, let me just close that down for a second. So what can you create? So there's lots of different types of videos. As long as you got the elements prepared, then you can create a wide variety of content. So before you start creating a video, you need to know what kind of video you're creating, what kind of things do you need. Okay, so I'm just reading Francesca's message. I went to a little local creative networking group a few weeks ago, and one lady there who is a painter was saying how valuable she finds video, even if it's not content of her paintings. She'll do videos visiting art shops too. Yep. I mean, once you explore video and you get confident with video, that you'll see the benefits of like, having those skills, especially editing your own video, being more creative with video. And it is interesting as well. It's exciting, it's interesting, you can really get hooked. Victoria, got your hand up? You're muted, Victoria.
Hello, Bilal. Sorry
Hi.
about that.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I just wanted to say, I think I'm very sure I did this lesson, yeah, by watching the recording. I don't mind doing it again. You know, when they
Okay.
change everything, for some
Sure.
reason, it's not recognized on my booking form. I
Okay.
don't mind doing it again because you always learn different things from
Sure.
different teachers.
Okay.
So the thing I struggle with, if you can please focus maybe a little bit on that, is
Mm-hmm.
once you have your elements, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, I want my audio to enter in a certain precise moment. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to do that, or I want my
Okay.
letters to be animated, but at this moment, not from the beginning. I
I
struggle
understand.
a lot with that. So if you can
Yeah.
please focus
I
on
will
that.
cover that. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll cover
Thanks.
that. That's fine. Okay. So what can you create? Well, it all depends on what have you got to create. Okay, so if I want to create a video, obviously I would need the footage. Okay, so I would need to go and film the footage, or I would need to get that footage from somebody else who's created the footage. I can get free footage from the internet. I can get paid footage from the internet. Okay, so there's various ways to get the footage, but you need footage. You need the elements such as the text, the images, the icons, things like that, the graphics basically. You would also need audio, okay, whether it's your voiceover, whether it's music, whether it's, like the actual soundbite from the video, you would need that of high quality. You would also need the rights to that. So there's various things that you need. Once you've got all that, then you can start creating, okay? So editing with the video creation tool. So the video creation tool allows you to create brand new videos or edit existing ones from the same landing page. So it's important to familiarize yourself with the functions and where they're located. And we'll do that. We'll go to Canva and we'll explore, okay? So somebody's mentioned in the chat that Canva Business is £8.50 per month for 3 months now. So just be aware that it is for 3 months, and you will put your credit card details in and everything. And after 3 months, it will charge you the full price. So just be aware of the full price if you're going to go for that. Obviously, we're not kind of partnered with them or anything. So it's like it's a different company altogether, no connection with us at all. It's just one software that we recommend and use to give you the skills to complete this course. You have, the freedom to move to other platforms or even get premium, but what we do is we are using the paid version. Sorry, we're using the free version to take you through some of this, some of the topics. So as mentioned, Canva is largely free to use, but there are some premium features that require subscription to Canva Pro to use. Okay, so it's mainly like having more audio clips or more videos in your kind of resources to actually create content. Sometimes there's templates that are premium. So if you really like a template, you might think, okay, I'll just get premium because you find yourself like struggling because the ones you like are always premium, you know? So if you think it's beneficial, then go for it. But they do offer a free trial as well, so that you can take advantage of that. Yep, if you're a pro, you can use After Effects for creating animations. These softwares, they all have their own limits. And if you're really like a professional filmmaker, then obviously you want to use Adobe Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro. If you're using Adobe Premiere Pro, the um, the special effects software is called After Effects. Okay. But there is a bit of a steep learning curve with those as well, if you've never used any video editing software. But if you learn from Canva, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities when you're learning about the timeline and things like that, which we'll cover. Okay, so these prices may change. Obviously, they change prices all the time, so make sure that you go to the website and check. But they usually do a comparison, and you can see all the benefits of each package. So if you are thinking of going pro, then look at the benefits and also think about if it's affordable for you, if it's the right thing for you. But like I say, the free version will there's enough features that are open for free for you to complete this course. Preparation before creation. So we kind of touched on this. Creating a video doesn't begin with the editing tool. It starts with planning. Before you can open Canva or any video software, you need to understand what you're creating. Okay, so there's no point purchasing Canva Pro and you don't even know why you're purchasing it. What's the purpose in the first place? So you really need to think about this. Have a clear strategy. You need to basically have all the elements. Okay, so you need to get the footage, you need to get the audio, all the things that I've mentioned previously. And to manage all this, to understand what you're trying to achieve, you can use software like Trello, okay, which basically organizes your tasks. So you can put every single task on like different boards and work towards deadlines and things like that. And then visually you'll see your task board and it makes it easier for you to see where you are in the project and why you would need video and can something else be used instead. So it just manages your projects better, okay, visually. So you don't have to, it takes out the guesswork because it's all in front of you. And you always, as long as you use Trello properly, then it's beneficial for you. Okay, so what do you need? So before you begin creating videos in Canva, it's important to spend some time preparing, gathering images, audio, video, uploading your own fonts into Canva. You can do that as well. You can also think about using a certain color scheme, and that would be dependent on your branding. So when creating your content, don't try and do too many things at once. If you're asking for too much from your audience, basically they'll get confused. And what you really need to focus on is a clear call to action. So it needs to have a storyline. Your video needs to have a purpose, it needs to have a beginning, middle, and an end. There may be a climax. You could even put that climax at the beginning, like tease them first, and then get into the content and then reach the climax afterwards. I've seen videos do that because of that attention span. So take part in a online trend, okay? Some ideas to basically create content. So if there's a trend at the moment, you can take part in that trend. You can promote your products and services. You can advertise a new product. You can become a referral. So you can refer other products and become an affiliate. You can create an explainer video for your product or service. Um, You can highlight your achievements. You can get feedback from customers on video. There's so many different things. Why you would actually use video? Well, it's just that, you know, authenticity, being able to see somebody, it just makes things a lot better. Boarding process. Okay, so unlike a static image, okay, unlike static images, which simply display a single message or function, a video is basically a process. Okay, it's going from telling you a story. Okay, so with an image, yes, images do tell a story. When you're looking at an image, you can make up your mind. You can think, okay, I think that's like it's meant to kind of say, have a good day, or it's kind of showing the a wintry scene, so it's like sad and depressing emotions, right? So whatever emotions you're getting is telling you something. The images are telling you something, but what you're getting, somebody else may get differently. So it's like artwork when you're appreciating art. For somebody, it's artwork. For somebody else, it might be just a mess on a canvas. But everybody's gonna have their own opinions. With videos, you can guide people through emotions. You can take them on a journey, an emotional journey, and a lot of marketing is around that. So when you're trying to take a person through a sales funnel, for example, you want to take them on an emotional journey. So what you could do is you could show them how you struggled, and then how you found something, and then how you solved your problem. And during that time, you would hit on their pain points. You would talk about how you're in a similar well, you were in a similar situation to where they are right now, but you improved your life, or you lost weight, or you've, you know, made money. So you're taking them on a journey, and that story process to sell something, you need to understand, okay? What is the other person thinking about? How am I taking them through this, and why they're going to buy my product at the end? So that hook needs to be there. You also need to get that person to and be able to relate to it, understand the pain points. So you're basically touching on their pain point. So you can watch explainer videos, you can watch sales videos, and you'll see every single video is taking them through a journey. So the video isn't about just creating a video. There's a storyboard that's attached to it. And that is the planning side. You need to do that at the beginning. So has anybody done any storyboards for videos before? Just type in yes in the chat if you have. If you haven't, then okay. So Victoria, you have kind of. Okay, Sarah.
I
Okay,
did a long time ago.
long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few of you have. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's pick on somebody. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I won't pick on you in that sense, but I will choose somebody randomly. Let's choose Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Can you hear me? You there? Okay, Lisa doesn't want to talk to me. Let's see. Maria, are you there?
Hi, yeah,
Hi,
again.
Maria. Is that
Hi.
Maria?
Yeah.
Hi. So you've done storyboarding before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about it? Like, what did you do it for?
Um, I think I've done this lesson before.
Oh, you've done the lesson before. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've done something similar.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and and we done like storyboarding. You mean like when you are doing like some sequences from the video, yeah? And you
Yeah.
describe the minute, what is included in that
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
planning the video really,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
scene by scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every section you
Yeah.
just describe it, and you write mm, the period, like the time, how
Yeah.
many seconds is on that section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I didn't
Thank
realize
you.
some of you have done it. It could be a similar session. It might not be this session. Could be similar. Or it could be this session. I'm not sure. But if you've done it as part of learning, like on a course, that's great. I'm just trying to find somebody who's done it like a. Okay, you've got Victoria here, who's done it for video ads. Hi, Victoria. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. Okay, tell me about your storyboarding then.
Yeah, I don't remember for what brand was that, but that was when I was studying advertising and marketing a long time ago.
Okay.
So we basically had to create um, every every part of the ad that was going to be recorded and put
Mm-hmm.
together to make an ad for TV. So,
Okay,
for
brilliant.
example, you say on the first sorry, I don't even remember the terminology now, but like on the first image or video
Mm-hmm.
caption, I don't know, is a person coming with a suitcase. In
Yeah.
the second one, this person sits, and so on
Mm.
until you show the brand and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
basically the story. Make a sketch of the story that you're going to record in
Yeah.
a video.
Yeah, well done. Thank you. Okay, so I just wanted some input from you guys. My storyboard, the first storyboard I did was back at university a long, long, long time ago. And I did it for an ad, a TV ad, and it was around a drink. So couple of my friends, the house where I was renting at the time was really like amazing. It was a perfect setting for an ad. So a few of my friends came over. We had a professional camera, but before all that, we had to sit down and think where we're going to shoot, who's going to do what scenes were needed, and it's almost like a comic that you're creating. It's like different scenes, and you're thinking about the camera angle, the first the opening scene. Then what you do is you put the script alongside the scenes, and then it's everything becomes really clear. Like you know exactly what you're going to create, so you're not wasting time, because it's not like if you've got different people in your script, then it's not always going to be easy to get those people together again, So you want to, and it takes time, effort, so you don't want to be missing scenes as well. So storyboarding is important, and sometimes you might not need a lot of equipment. You might because nowadays we've got smartphones. In those days, we're talking only 2000, I think 3 or something like that, or 2005. So I can't remember whether I did it for my degree or my master's, but it was that time. And smartphones, I don't think smartphones were as good as they are today, but the camera was there, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, obviously, it's like you can't tell the difference between a professional camera and a phone. That's how good they are. So we're walking around with a smartphone in our pocket. Basically, we've got all the equipment we need to create amazing videos. When I worked for the BBC, literally, if you wanted to create a live video, you would need the satellite truck. Okay, you would need to take with you lots of people and have a truck with a satellite and to go live. Nowadays, going live is just taking your phone out of your pocket and pressing record, right? So, I mean, sorry, and just going live, like literally everybody can see you on live. So the technology is advanced, but I don't think everybody uses technology the way they should or the way they could. I think we take it for granted, and we don't realize how lucky we are to live in an age where we've got all this technology. So, moving on, what elements do you need? So when we're thinking about creating a video, obviously we may use images. We might want the logo in there. So not all videos are made from live recordings. You may want to include images or create a video entirely from existing static images. Um, you can get um, you can get stock footage, but sometimes stock footage, like the images, when you look at them, they're obvious that they're stock footage. Like the actors or whoever's in the image is just too obvious. And the other thing is like you may find other videos using the same footage. So if somebody's seen that same image or same footage before, then it doesn't look good. So creating your own footage or getting your own images is ideal. Okay, so video, obviously, if you're adding video or editing your own video, then it needs to be in the correct file format. So we'll talk about that as well. And the quality needs to be consistent. So if you're using different devices, then obviously there may be a drop in quality, but it could be the same device and you're just adjusted the settings or something. The lighting is important as well. Okay, so you might need to get a ring light or get natural light, stand with the sunlight behind you, um, rather in front of the camera. So things like that you've got to think about. What's a ring light? I've got one right in front of me. I'm just thinking how I'm going to show you. It's basically a light, but it's like a shape of a ring, like a ring. So it's like it's on a stand and it just gives you that light. You can just Google it and go to Google Images. You'll see loads of ring lights.
And what's the advantage of a ring light as opposed to just a standard desk light then?
It's the way it's shaped. It's kind of giving you that 360 everywhere. The light is going not in one direction. It's kind of, yeah, that's an image of a ring light there in the chat. So it's basically if you've got just a standard light that's kind of focused in a certain direction, you'll just brighten up half your face. But a ring light exposes the light everywhere because of the way it's shaped. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference. You see, I had three lights here. So I'm working from home. I had three lights. I had one here, one there, one in that corner. But if you turned on the middle one, half of my face would be still dark. I would have to have all three on, but I've replaced all three with a ring light and it works better. So ideally get yourself a ring light if you're thinking about doing videos and because the quality needs to be good. So audio as well. So some videos will require audio, not every video, but obviously sound helps, and that could be music, it could be special effects, it could be your voiceover. So there's various things that you can. And in on TikTok, you can use other people's audio as well. So something that's gonna, kind of gone viral. So if you're using that audio in your video, most likely your video will get that additional attention as well. So choosing the right format, okay? So format is very important. MP4 format, when we're talking about that type of format, MP4, but also think about the size of the video. Okay, different platforms and sites have different best practices. So you got to think about what platform you're creating it for. They have different size requirements. We'll look at all this in Canva. Okay. The video length, like YouTube, obviously, you've got long form video, you've got YouTube Shorts. Shorts seem to work better. TikTok, again, the same, but it's like rather than being vertical, it's horizontal, right? On YouTube, but on TikTok, it's vertical. Okay. So you just got to think how you're filming as well and what platform you're using it for. And the thumbnails as well. So the thumbnails could be different. You can get professionals to design thumbnails for you. I don't know if you guys are aware of a freelancing site called Fiverr.com. I'll just type it into the chat. Okay. So some of you might be aware of it. That didn't go out as a link, but basically if you search for it, you'll find it anyway. Yeah, so Fiverr.com has lots of freelancers on there. Okay. You can also join as a freelancer on there and create content and websites and all sorts of stuff for people. It's it's a good site to get freelancers to do tasks for you if you're trying to save time. Okay, so it's always time or money, right? So if you've got money, you can use your money to save time because you can pay somebody to do something for you. If you don't have the money, then you're gonna have to put in the time. Okay, so if you're trying to save time, you want a logo created or you want a video created, you can get somebody on Fiverr to do it. Or you might want them to do something specific, like create a thumbnail, okay? And you're just focusing on the creating the video, so you're not kind of spending time trying to mess around with one image for a thumbnail. Because these thumbnails, if you look on YouTube, the thumbnails are created in a certain way to grab attention, to get people to click on it. Okay, so it requires graphics and all this. And again, branding guidelines is important because they may ask for it if you're working with freelancers. So format, when you're thinking about the device people are going to be watching it on. Yep, so there are some templates on Canva for thumbnails too. Yes, they are. Thank you, Natalie. Definitely, there's lots of different things on Canva that you can use. And I think these days, these softwares are making it so easy for us to create content and do things that we don't need freelancers as much as we used to. Because they were doing exactly the same. They were using software, they still do. They use software to provide their service. So if you're paying somebody to create a thumbnail, they're probably using Canva to create that thumbnail. Okay, so it's good to have these skills so you know exactly what's saving time, where you're using money, and you're not wasting money because it's simply something that you could do in a matter of seconds with the software that you already have access to. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so what I want you to do now is think of it could be for your own business, okay? Ideally, you want to do something that you can use again. So if you do have a business, think about an ad, okay, and put kind of a storyboard together, like a plan. Okay, it doesn't have to be a full blown out with images and everything, but just kind of a timeline of a like a video. Okay, so for the next 10 minutes, think about and draft a plan of a video that you want to create. This ideally would be for marketing. Okay. So if you're unsure, then think about videos you've seen on social media and online. So you can actually find a video, think of a video that you've seen and recreate that if you're stuck with ideas. Okay. And Canva has hundreds of graphics that you can use. So you can use graphics to basically show your timeline or show your storyboard. So say your first scene is a gentleman walking down um, a path on a park with a dog, right? There's graphics in Canva that you can use to show that. Okay, so type in man walking, you'll see graphics. You'll see graphics of dogs. You know, you can put things together like that. You can also find images that represent what's in your mind. If you can't, then just use text for now, but then you can add the graphics later. Okay, so what I want you to do is go to Canva. Okay, so I'll do the same. Okay, so can everybody see my Canva now? See Canva? Yeah. Okay, so I want you to create a storyboard. Okay, so what you can do, let's see if they've got anything that's related to storyboards. Storyboard template. So there we are. So whenever you're not sure and you're looking for a template, click on template here or click on template here and then type in what you're looking for. You might be pleasantly surprised that they have a template for it. Okay, because their target audience is marketers, content creators. So obviously they know what we would be looking for, and a storyboard is one of those things that it's obviously that we will look for storyboards, so they're providing templates. So let's choose one. Let's go for this first one. I'll go for that one. So literally, you choose your storyboard template, then click on customize this template. Okay, so it will open up like this, and then it's clickable. Okay, all of these elements are clickable. So what I want you to do is give your storyboard a title. You can change this text as well if you need to. So it could be something that gives a bit more information. It could be a specific scene. So if you've got a long video, then this could be just one scene. So frame one, frame two, frame three. So what I want you to do is just use like 6 frames. Don't go overboard. Use 6 frames. You can replace the images. So you can click on it, upload, and you can upload images. So you can get them from the internet. Don't worry too much about copyright for now. But if you're because this is an exercise, yeah. But if you're going to use it professionally or you're going to use it for something, then think about copyright. But just to kind of show the different frames, the different scenes, just to get a bit of practice, I want you to use 10 minutes for that. So you give a description. So if I just zoom in a little bit, just take that away. So to close this, whenever this opens, you just click on that. So you can see here the first one. If I just hover to the right, okay, that first one, got the image, you've got a description, a very short description, literally like Salma enters with a trembling flashlight. So keep it very short. The shot, okay, so you can learn about a bit about filming here. So that's a wide overhead, that's a medium close up. Okay, so you've got a bit of, so that's a close up. So you can put the shot in, the type of shot it is. So when somebody's shooting the film, they would know exactly how to film that scene, okay? Or get that frame. So wide overhead again, medium close up, wide overhead again, okay? So the main thing is the scenes need to make sense. So if you're reading it, it should make sense. And then you've got equipment as well. So how are you going to film that? So this one's the aerial drone camera. This one's a handheld camera with the image stabilization. Same with that one. Okay, that's another drone. And then aerial drone camera as well. So you can put, and all of this information is important for who? The person filming. Okay, the person shooting the scene. So they know exactly what they need, what kind of scene they need to capture, and the story itself. Okay, so 10 minutes to use a template and create your own storyboard. Once you've done it, what I want you to do is click on share and download it, and it will give a suggested download. So if it's like a video, it's an MP4, but this you can download as an image, as a PNG, or you can do it as a PDF because there's no videos within it. Now, if you created videos within your storyboard, that's also possible, but it wouldn't be per frame. It would be per scene. Okay, so you can have that'll be a bit different. Okay, so we're getting per frame, so it's images. So when it comes to creating a storyboard for now, just use images and download it as a PNG or a PDF. And then what we need to do is actually do this first, because before you download it, if you change the name, it'll keep that. So just put here storyboard and then your name, okay? And then share it. So if I put storyboard Bilal Mia and just press return, right? Just press return or just click away from this area. Click away from it, it'll save it. Now when I download it, so if I download it as a PDF or a PNG, it'll keep that name. So if I download it, it will download it as storyboardbellamia.pdf. Once you've got that, go into Zoom, into the chat, and basically post it in there. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing for now. Does everybody know what they're doing? Okay, so go into Canva. So you can see my Canva, yep. Okay, well done everybody on the storyboards. They look really good. Put some effort into them, which is good. Keep a copy of your storyboards as well, and also you can download it as a copy, but they'll always be in the Canva software application as well. No worries, Victoria. You can work on it later. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's just a bit of practice. So we're back into Canva now. Can everybody see my Canva screen? You see it on your screen, yeah? So we're clicking on templates. We type in storyboard, and then we get the templates for storyboard. Okay. Once you've worked on that, you can, find it in your projects. So if you go to projects, you'll see it in there. Your storyboards will be in there. So you can just click on it, and then it will be under recents, and you can click on it, and it'll always be, then you can always work on it again. All right. So the link I gave you previously was to Canva's video editor. So you can find that link in the chat. So I'm just gonna see where it's at. It's quite up here, I think. I'll post it again. So it's canva.com/video hyphen editor. I'll just copy that link and I'll post it again. Okay. So what we need to do is click on that link and go to that side of Canva, and then within that there's a button. It says edit a video. So click on that. Okay. So I'm just going to do that on the screen. So it's edit a video. Click on that, and it takes you straight into the video editor. Okay. So we're in the video editor now. Now, once you're here, you'll see, if you see this side open, by default, it starts up with this side open, okay? You can click on these and it'll move away from it, okay? But if you click on video while it's open, you'll see lots of videos in there as well. Some of them may be like things that you've uploaded. It could be also things that are in their system, okay? Another way to access the videos is by going to elements and type in something here. Say you want a sunset, type in sunset. Once you typed it, click on videos, and you see all these videos, okay? So what you can do is you can drag. So what you do to add it onto the timeline. So timeline's down here, you can see it's gray, okay? So you can drag and drop it into the timeline. Left click down, drag, and just drop it. Now, once you've dropped it in there, if you want to play it, you take this pin right to the beginning, and you just click on the play button, and it'll play. So that's part of your video now on your timeline. So if you're trying to create a storyboard and you're using the template, that's fine. You can do it like that. But if it's not working for you, like you can't imagine the video still, you can use a timeline and just drag and drop videos to represent your storyboard, if you know what I mean. Okay. It's not the actual video that you're going to create, but you're playing around with different scenes. So the opening scene could be an aerial view, a drone view of the beach. So what you would do is you type in beach here or sunset and see if you can find a video that represents what you would have had as your scene. So rather than having a storyboard with images, you're using video to represent those scenes, right? So you can actually use that again to actually create the video. Okay, if it helps to think, then do it like that. I usually do it like that. Okay, so if I'm thinking of creating an ad or something like that, I would go in to Canva. I would start thinking about the first scene. I think, okay, the first scene will be a sunset, with an aerial view. So I type in sunset, and if I'm lucky, I'd find a video in there that represents exactly what I'm thinking. But sometimes I might get another idea, like this one. If I just drag and drop that, and if I play that, so I just play that. So looking at that, I might think, actually, I'll start my ad with that scene. Okay, so it just gives you some shots and you may get ideas. So I might think, okay, I'm going to start with this scene. Now, if you want to start with this scene and you've already got something in your timeline, literally just left click, drag it, and place it at the beginning. You'll see a little purple line just to show you where you're going to drag it in and just drop it and it'll switch over. So that would go on this side. Okay, I'm just reading a message. Just bear with me a second. No, I don't think it has to. It doesn't have to focus on one company. Some of you may have a company, some of you may not have a company. You may have a business, you may not. It doesn't have to be of the same. As long as the content's around a brand, it could be a number of brands. Okay. Sorry, somebody's just asking about whether you need to stick to the same company or brand through all the sessions. You don't have to. Okay. As long as you're showing that you're understanding and you're working on different parts. Like if we're working on branding guidelines, you might have imagined a company vision, mission, and it could be different somewhere else. So it doesn't matter. Because that's I was hearing Sylvia's question there. Okay, so you drag it to this side, okay? Now I want to do something with whenever you see these little three dots, always kind of be curious, okay? Okay, what can I do with these three dots? It means there's something else there to do with that video because it's not right next to that video. So I click on that and you'll see a context menu open, right? So now you can see I can copy, paste, duplicate, delete, lock the background, add a transition, split the scene. You can do all of this with that video, okay? So now let me explain to you why you would need some of these. Like say copy and paste, right? Say you want to do the same scene here. Obviously you can drag and drop, but say you lost this. I mean, you clicked away from it, you went somewhere else, and you can't find that same scene anymore. Okay, so I clicked away from it, it's gone. Still, it will be in the recently used, but say it's been a while and it's not even on there, right? What I'm saying is you can actually literally copy and paste. Okay, so you paste in there. Okay, so now to paste it in there, you would need to use your keyboard and go Control V. Okay, Control V. That pastes it in there. So because you won't get a context menu that says paste from that side. Okay, so copy and to paste it, Control V. Or you can use Control C to copy and Control V to paste as well. So that's one thing. So it duplicates that video, but you will see it in the recently used, and you'll see elsewhere as well. You know, if you search for a sunset and you put pebbles in there as well, it might actually bring it up. So I can try sunset pebbles, and then go video. So now it's brought other scenes that are similar, but not with the same kind of sunset, right? So you might actually struggle to find that same scene. You might find an alternative, but yeah, it's good to know that you can copy and paste. So that's one thing. The other thing that you can do is if you click on that, go to the context menu, you can duplicate. So copy and paste, copying there, putting it over there, that's one way. But you can also duplicate. So if you click on duplicate, it duplicates it, puts it in for you, but next to that previous scene. Okay? So that might even work for you. Okay? So if you've already put your pin where you need to insert the video, then you might want to copy and paste. But if it's right next to it, say you're just trying to duplicate the video because you want to make it longer, the scene longer, then you might want it next to it because if you play it, if it's just waves hitting the shore and none of this is moving, when you play it, it literally would feel it would look like it's the same scene, just longer because you know this it's just a repetition of the waves, right? You won't be able to tell the difference. So as it passes that end of the first scene, goes into the second scene, couldn't even tell the difference, right? So you've extended the video. So that's one thing you can do by duplicating it if it works with that video. So if I click on the video again, click on the context menu to get that up. I can also delete here. So I can click on delete and it will delete that scene. Okay, so if I've deleted that scene, there was two of them, now there's one. If I click on it again, I can lock the background. So if I lock, what it's going to do, it's not going to let me move that away from there. So sometimes when you've got lots of things going on your timeline, if I just bring that up a bit, you can see the timelines increased in size, and the actual video where your scene is a bit smaller. But when you're working on the timeline, it's good to kind of have that open like this so you can see everything, especially when you're adding audio and everything else. Okay. So locking this helps because because you can accidentally move things around and then you can't remember where you put it. So if you've worked on it and you don't want things to move around, you want to lock them. Okay, so you go there and lock it. Once it's locked, the context menu is a bit different. Okay, because you need to unlock it before you can do other things. You can still add the transition, you can add the comments, you can split it. But if you can't find something like I can't copy and paste, it's because you've locked it. So you'd have to unlock it and then you'd find all the other ones. Okay, so that's lock. Adding transitions. So I want to go from this scene to that scene. Okay, adding transitions. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, don't go crazy with transitions because you can get to a point where it doesn't look professional anymore. So if I was on this scene, I think, to be honest, like it should be a wide shot first, the aerial shot, and then a close up, right? So that would start off. So if I had that scene, play it. So you're on that scene, and then it goes to that scene. There was a little jump there, which I didn't like. So I want to now edit a little bit. So let's see what happens. So if I zoom in, so you can see a little bit more of the scene. If I play it, okay, it wasn't actually, yeah, can you see that? There was a scene change. See that? Scene change, yeah? So there's a scene change right at the end of that footage, this first footage. So it starts off, it's panning that way, but then suddenly the camera jumps. The trees change, look. See that? And that makes it look awkward. So it's like it was too short of a scene. So I want to take that out now. Okay. So if I zoom into the video, I can zoom in like that. But when it comes to the timeline, I want to now take something out, right? So if I want to take something out from that scene there, first I have to find where it changes. So just there. I can click on the scene and drag it to that location, but I want that pin to be there. So if I have it there, then I can do it. But it's not easy that way. But what you can do is find the edge, okay, that there, roughly, and then just move it, drag it across. You might lose a second or two in between, but then if you play it, that's a better transition, yeah? A transition means going from one thing to another, right? So that's still a transition from one scene to another. So you can use the term transition. But what it means here, when I go copy, sorry, when I get the context menu, add transition, is it's going to put a transition effect in. So if I click on that now, it's giving me all these transitions. Now, some of these transitions are going to be a bit going to make you look a bit silly, right? So I need to find the best transition. So if I go right click, transition, I think the one that might look okay is a dissolve, maybe. I don't know. So I can just hover over them and it will do the transition. So if I go, actually, let me just check. Yeah, I think you're going to have to click on it. So if I do circle white, click on that, It's added that, so you can see what it looks like. You can play it. Yeah. So I don't like these kind of transitions. Okay. The only one I would probably use is a dissolve. Okay. So I'm going to change that transition. To change it, you go onto the transition and you click it, and this comes up. So if that was closed and I clicked on it, that would pop up, and I'd just literally click on the transition I want, and it will change it. So this is a dissolve. So if I go from this scene to that scene now, that's a dissolve. Okay. It didn't look that bad, did it? So if I play it again, that's not as bad. And I don't even have to have a transition there. I can just take it out. None. And I think that's better without a transition. So if you wanted to smooth transition from one to another, if the scenes actually go well with each other, you might not even need like one of these transition effects. But out of the transition effects, I think the only one that I personally like is the dissolve. Don't go crazy with these transitions because they can make it look unprofessional. But it depends on the type of video you're making. Okay. Sometimes, it can be wild and wacky videos and it could have all sorts of transitions and it will be fine.
That dissolve will look good if you slow it down a bit.
Yeah, you can also slow it down a bit. Yeah. So if you clicked on you don't have to drag it. You just click on it. But if you just watch it there, yeah. So that's the transition. It's quite slow anyway. So if we slow it a bit more, basically you're increasing it because you're increasing the duration of the transition. So the amount of video it covers. Okay. So basically the transition will start from here. But one thing you got to notice is, can you see that other scene's coming in? Just there. Another scene that I took away has come in now because it's covering more of it. The previous scene that I took away is being covered by the transition, and you can almost see it, so it'll flicker a little bit. So if I play it, it flickered a little bit, yeah? So you might have to take away some more of that video to allow for those seconds that you've added with the transition. That's the only negative about increasing the transition size. Okay, you're not speeding it up. What you're doing is you're basically covering more of the video with that transition. Okay, so just be aware of that. So transitions are okay, but sometimes if you don't use it properly, it can make it worse. Just think about that. Okay, so that's one thing. Another, let's go back there to that menu again. Comments. Okay, so you can add comments. Now, comments I've never used before. I don't know how they work with the actual video, but I think they're literally just comments to be on your screen. I don't think it has comments when you've actually downloaded it. So it could be that you're writing comments for each scene as you're planning. Okay, for those reasons, because the project could get quite big, with lots of scenes, so lots of audio, so you might need to leave some notes for yourself on different scenes. um if it's a temporary scene or if it's the actual scene you're going to use, if you need to, what kind of audio you want to add. So that's a comment. um and then split, what it does, it actually splits the video. So wherever you've got, like, say that part where I wanted to kind of remove because it changes scenes suddenly. Okay, so if I want to remove that, say I wanted to end the scene here and start from there, the new scene. So I want to split it, right? I would go here, click split, and it'll split it. It's now two pieces of video, not one. Okay, but it hasn't removed the other part. The dragging it to remove removes it, but splitting it keeps it and just splits it into two. Now, why would you do that? Well, you might need that piece of video. That little piece of video there is something that you might need. So it could be that you're trying to just kind of um, use that video somewhere else. Okay, it doesn't really make sense with the videos that I've got here, but say, let's find a video where there's two distinct scenes. Okay, let's say people video. Okay, so you can hover over these and you can see if they've got two scenes. Okay, that doesn't seem to have two scenes. That doesn't. Yeah, most of them are one scenes. Let's see if I can find one with two scenes. Okay, most of them probably one scene. Yeah, okay. So we'll just have to work with that. So say I wanted to split it at the point where, a few people clear off the screen somewhere here because it's too long, okay? I want to end this one here, about here, okay? Now, if I wanted to end it here, can you put yourself on mute, please? Somebody just came in. You need to put yourself on mute. Don't know who that was. Okay, so if I want to split it here, I would go to the three dots and I click split and it'll literally split. Now I can have another video. So if I had, say that's in, like, looks like it's in an office. So if I type in office, type in lounge, just so it makes sense. If I can find something that looks good and makes sense. Okay, so that scene might work well. So put that in there. And then I might want to put another scene in, close up with two people talking. It's not going to match, but put that in there. Now I want to move it around, right? So we start off with this one, then we have that one, and then we have that one, and then we go back to that one, right? So now you can see like how that split function is useful, where you've kept the video, you just split it, and you've used that second section later on in the video. Okay, so it starts with that scene. Okay, then it goes to that scene. Now this might be too long for you, so you might want to shorten it. So you can, because you want to shorten it and you're not going to use it elsewhere, you just go to the edge until you get that double arrow, left click and drag it. But make sure you clicked on the right one first. Let's drag it to about that much, because you don't want to be on the same scene for too long because it gets boring at the same time. This one is 15 seconds. I would take that down to about there. Probably reduce that a bit more. So now it should be nice and fast and, keep up the pace. Play it. Okay, so obviously it's not the best thing in the world because I'm just working with what I've got here. That scene also, the contrast is different. The way these are, it's not the same. So these are using more silhouette, and then that color. So then going back to the silhouette doesn't look good. So you just have to play around with it. But I'm just showing you the functions, right? Because I don't expect me to create a masterpiece right now. But just as long as you know where these functions are and what they do. So that's that. Then audio. To add audio, you literally click on that button there where it says add audio, and then all the audios will come up. Anything that you've recently used. You can also use record a voiceover from here. So as long as you've connected the mic, you can click on that, and then obviously the settings will come up where you can put your mic. You can select your mic. So I've got mine selected. You can also say, if we allow when visiting the site. So can you see there's a record button here now? So when I speak, if I click on this and I speak, it will record my audio. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to give me a countdown, and then it's recording now. It's recording my voice, and you can see the purple below the video, and that's audio that's being created as I speak. And as long as you've got a professional microphone or something that is decent, it's not going to get any background noise or any any sounds that you don't want in there. but if it does, you can reduce noise. And these are some features that will only appear once the recording's there, once the audio is there. So you'll get additional features that you can use. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to click on finish and it'll save your audio. It'll take a few seconds and it'll save it. And now I've got my voice recording over there, right? So with the voice recording, once you've got that, you can also drag it and place it from the beginning. And then if you expand it, it will only go to the length of the actual audio, right? So now if I wanted to split the audio, say that audio, I'm listening to my audio and then I'm talking about something and it ends about here, okay? How I would do it is basically watch the scene and talk over it, okay? Because in that way you'll match with when the audio is there. So if I take that away again, add audio. So you put the scenes in. Now you're recording a voiceover. So you take it back there, record voiceover, click on record. Once it does a countdown, and then it plays automatically. So from here, you're doing the voiceover, but you're watching at the same time, talking about the airport or whatever is in the scene. When the scene changes, you're talking, knowing that this is going to be the audio for this scene, and then you're talking about something that is relevant to this scene. So literally, you're seeing it and you're recording it. Then once it's there, you would need to listen to it again just to make sure it's working fine. And if it's natural, if you did it natural in the first place, it should be ideal. You shouldn't have to edit it or anything. But in some cases, you may need to edit. Okay, could be that there was some background noise or something there. So if you need to edit it, and this is going to take a bit of time, it looks like. Just wait for it to go through. So these things, like for it to take a bit of time here, is the compromise that you're making from a professional editing suite to something like this. But at the same time, they've been working on things where, like, you can watch the video while you're recording. These are things that the Canva's done to make it easy for you. But when it comes to the functionality of it, sometimes you may struggle with certain features like audio because it's saving it somewhere, right? So if it's doing this forever, just delete it or try to delete it. It seems to struggle a bit here. So I'm going to have to refresh, reload, and hope that it saved my audio. Okay. So sometimes it can be a bit, okay. So it doesn't seem, let's see. Okay, I don't think it saved any audio. Play it again. Okay. So if you had to refresh it and you come out of it, you've come out the editor, you would have to go back into the editor. So you would have to go to your project, find that project that you're been working on and click on it. And then you might even have to open the editor again, okay? So there's certain things maybe you still need to, like compromise with using something like this, okay? I mean, if I click on that, it looks like it's doing it like a presentation. My timeline's disappeared. Okay, so I would have to get my timeline back. Now, I'm not sure how to get my timeline back unless... Okay, so I think the easiest way would be to click on the video editor. So if you go back to that link, video editor, and click on that, edit video. And then the timeline appears again. And then you can just find your project that you were working on. If it doesn't load automatically, you would have to go to projects and click on the project that you were working on. And it will bring it back into there, into the video editing part. Because I think the way Canva's been built is there's different parts and there's URLs that go to those different parts. because they're not all here. It doesn't say video editor here, but it may say it when you go to create. Okay, so if you just save the URL, I think it'll be a lot easier because then you have to go to create, then you have to go to videos, and then you'd have to go to landscape and open the video editor. Okay, so rather than doing it that way, just save the URL. So if ever it has a hiccup, you lose the timeline, you can do it that way. There may be an easier way. If you do find one, just share it with us, okay? So let's take a break for 10 minutes, and then when we come back, I'll go through a few other things like with the audio and any templates that you can use. We'll just kind of work on a few other things and show you how to download it as well once you've done it, and think about the compression. So we'll cover a few more other things and then we'll go back to the presentation, okay? So 10-minute break and then we will continue. Okay. So, has anybody created a video by doing editing before? Like on any software, like could be Adobe Premiere, could be Final Cut Pro. Excuse me. Francesca has, okay. Okay, so you would know if you've done editing, video editing before, you'd know it's important to be able to zoom into the timeline sometimes, okay? So I've shown you how to zoom into the video, the actual video that you're creating, like just like that. But how do you do it for the timeline? So the way you do it for the timeline is if you look down on this icon here, there's two parts of the icon. So at the moment, it's on the actual scene here. Okay, that's why that's zooming in and out. Yeah. So if you click on it again, it will switch to the timeline. Okay. So now if I do this, it expands the timeline. So you can see like that's 0 to 30 seconds. So the whole clip is within 30 seconds. On a free plan, I think that's all you get as well. Like that you can download. So you can do multiple 30 seconds and then stitch them together, I think. It might not let you download it once you've stitched them together though. So it's a business, isn't it? Canva's a business. They're running a business. So at some point it will kind of push you towards thinking, okay, I need to get a free a pro plan. They'll limit you on certain things. But at least you can learn with a free plan. Now, can you see how I've zoomed in? And that 30 seconds has expanded. So you can now see 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15, 20 seconds. Before you couldn't see those, right? Now you can. So if you're working on a specific scene, as you know, within seconds, okay, and you're trying to find like an exit here somewhere, like when say I don't know. This scene isn't great for this example. Let's find something else. I've just clicked away from it now. Just bear with me. So if I wanted to change that scene altogether, because just can't explain it properly with this scene, I would go to elements, go to videos. You can click on the icon there by category and find another video. So say, I don't know, let's just choose a video, that one. Okay, so I've literally just placed it on top of that other one and it's replaced it, okay? So now, if I'm going like this and I want to like find an exit here somewhere, I want to zoom in, so I'll click on that, zoom in, and you're zooming in not into the scene, you're zooming into the time. So literally like I can see first second, second, third, 4 seconds in. Okay, so if I play it now, I can decide when it's like I'm ready to move on. Okay, so play. about there. Okay. So that's enough time for someone to watch and understand the scene without it looking too quick. So if you watch it again, about there, okay, before I lose interest. So you need to, so now because you've zoomed in, you can see where exactly you want to exit. So about there, yeah. So just before 3 seconds. So now I can drag that exactly there. So I know I'm on point. So now when it changes scene, it'll do it at the moment where I would think it should change scenes. And I'm just, that wasn't moving then. Again. Okay. But again, that scene and that scene doesn't go. So you'd have to work on it. How would you add text to your video? So you can add audio. I showed you how you can do voiceover. You can also add audio like generated AI voice. You can add audio as in the music. So you can choose music. You can see all, and you see all sorts of music that you can add. Okay. So you literally just drag and drop, and you'll add that music to your timeline. And then when you play it, it'll play the music, and you can see if it works with the um, video. If you want to add text, click on text on the left hand side here, just under elements, and you'll see different types of text that you can add. Okay, so you would just basically find the text that works for you and the scene. So it could be that one. Okay, you might want to change the color. So if you want to change the color, you would click on it, you'd go to the text, color, and you change it here. So you would choose a color that works, okay, with the blue background. So it could be that, could be something like that. It could be, you might want to keep it white. And then you can squeeze it like that. So it's like this, and then you can expand it, make it bigger. You can put shadow behind it as well. So you go effects, and then you can go create an outline behind it. You can change the color of the outline to black, make it stand out more. These two are grouped, so you can ungroup them, or you can keep them as group. If you want to change that one, you click on it, give it an outline, change the color, and there. Okay, so then you have something like this. So now if you want that transitioning in, you go animate. You could have that fade in, okay? And then you could slow the speed down. So now if you play it from the beginning, yeah. So, and obviously you would want it to maybe end before the next scene. So you drag that to here. So, and then you'd probably have a transition out, one transition in and one transition out, fade in, fade out. So here you got the fade in is on enter, and fade out is on exit. So on exit, you have a fade as well. Okay. So if it starts and it fades out. Again, it doesn't look great because I'm just kind of giving examples. I haven't spent time on this. But you understand the features, right? So that's text. Okay. Now, if you wanted to add graphics, you'd go to elements, type in something. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. You wanted to add graphics, right? So it could be you want to add, I don't know, what would you add? Something like drinks. Okay, so if you put drinks, it'll give you loads of videos. So we need to get out of that. So elements, don't go into the, because I was in the video section, it was giving me videos, but now I'm going to put drinks again. Now it's giving me videos, photos, audios, 3D mock-ups, yeah? But what I want is graphics, so I'll just go across. Okay, so graphics is up here. So see all. Now it'll give me loads of graphics. It's meant to. There we are. So from here, whatever works, okay? So I might actually want to keep my how it was before, like that, and then go to graphics and then add something like this. Again, you'd need to work with it so it looks decent, but I could add some graphics with that logo as well. I don't know where I'd put it. I'll probably put it there. Then if I want everything to get reduced because it takes over too much of the scene, I just drag over everything and I can group it. So now those glasses and the logo is going to move together. So now what I can do is I can reduce the size of it and put it in the middle there. So now if I play it, I've got the graphics there as well. But can you see how it started? The graphics came in later and didn't look good. So I might want the graphics to come from the beginning, right? So the graphics I've grouped. So I have to ungroup. Now that graphic there is here. If you have it grouped, you can't edit it separately. So I'd have to take that to the end or the beginning, sorry, and then take that to that scene so it ends there, and with the rest of it as well. Okay, and then if I play it, it will work. So I'd take all the scenes to the end of that scene. It's about here. Take that one there as well. So now that first scene might be good, but the second scene might not look great. But I've worked on the first scene. So if I play that now, from here. Okay, so it covers the whole scene. But again, I would want to transition in and out. So you get the idea, right? You get the idea. So what I want you to do now is spend about 15 minutes just practicing on the timeline, adding video, adding text, adding audio, just playing around with it, getting a bit creative for the next 15 minutes and see if you can work on something. You can use your storyboard and try to create a video from that, okay, if you really want to. Or you can start something fresh. Okay, so hopefully that helps. So 15 minutes. Elizabeth, you got your hand up?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to ask, how would you add your own audio if you don't want to use what's on Canva?
Yeah, so you would upload. So can you see upload here?
Okay.
So you literally click on that upload file from your desktop.
Can
Okay.
you link it to like Spotify and like Apple Music and things like that?
I don't think you can link it, but you can download it from Spotify if you
Okay.
can, if that allows you to have it on your desktop and upload it from there.
Okay, and then upload it as well.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can do it like that. They do provide lots of audio. I think the free version has only limited amount, and then the pro version has more. But you can also get these type of, this is just like music that goes behind explainer videos usually. But there's lots of YouTube videos as well with audio only. But you would need software to download the audio. The only thing that you would have to think about is copyright, but most of them have permission, it gives you permissions to use it for creative purposes. For business, it might be different. Okay. Right. So, yep. Next 15 minutes, if you just work on something and then download your video. So it'll only be try to keep it within 30 seconds and then download it and upload it, or even better, because uploading a video might be a bit of a struggle. You can share the link, so you can click on share. So once you've created it, you can click on share, and then you can create a link. Okay, so public view link, and then share that link into the chat rather than downloading the actual file and uploading it into the chat. Okay, so just get a link from it and then share the link so we can all kind of go and visit your creative work. So I'll be quiet now for 15 minutes while you guys get your video created. Right, so images, permission for stock images. Some stock images you do actually have to have permissions, especially if you're using it for business. Also think about whether your competitors are using the same images, because that's going to be a bit awkward. How you can make it stand out, the branding elements, and whether it matches your tone and style as well. So think about your branding, think about how you're using imagery in other places like your website, and just think about whether it actually goes with it, or is it quality wise or look wise, does it look a bit different? It needs to kind of all blend together. Same style, same tone. So copyright and fair usage policy, sometimes it's like you can use it, but you need to kind of put the owner's details somewhere in fine print. Maybe you need to kind of label it, but other times it's free. So premium content on Canva is obviously available for paid members, but there is some stock footage there. There are other websites as well where they give a lot of stock footage. Um, but purchasing stock footage, it can be quite expensive, okay? Um, just a few images can cost you about 10 to 20 pounds. So, I wouldn't go down that route unless you really, really are working on a serious project and you know you're going to use those images, and it's worth investing like that. Audio. So applying audio to your videos requires you to carefully listen to the content, make sure that it matches up with the frames, and if you're planning to have a video loop, then the audio doesn't cut off awkwardly before restarting. If you're adding audio tracks or dialogue of your own, take time to experiment with the position of the audio, the transition between the scenes, and ensure that there is plenty of frame time for the audio to play against. Sometimes silence is also needed, right? So pauses in between when you're talking. So, that just kind of gives people to kind of register the information they're getting, especially if there's lots of visual. So you may kind of talk over voiceover, and then you go silent, let the video do its thing, because even that is giving information, and then you might come in again at some certain points, let the music take over at certain points. So just play it a few times, see how it works for you. But audio is a craft as well. Speed. So just make sure that everything's matching up. If you're using text, make sure people have enough time to read it, because you don't want text to come on the screen and then before somebody even starts reading it, it's gone off the screen. So let people watch your video, let them give you feedback, because sometimes they may say, "Oh, you need to have that." I couldn't read that. It took me a few minutes to even understand where that text came from and where it went. I didn't even capture it. So you've got to think about all these things. File size is also important, especially if you're uploading it to other platforms. They may have limits on how long it can be. But if you're creating YouTube Shorts, for example, you don't want a long video for that. If you're creating YouTube, at the beginning with a new account, it does have a limitation on length as well. So think about that, the length and the file size of your videos. But in Canva, it also recommends the templates do have the right file size for the video. So if you're creating a TikTok video and you select a TikTok template, it would have the right files. Sorry, not the file size, but the actual dimensions are correct. When you're downloading it, ideally you want to have it high quality. um, you don't want to compress it because it's video, and if you compress it, it'll look pixelated. You want it high quality. When you're uploading it, the platform itself will adjust. Okay, so your initial download from Canva needs to be of high quality. Even with logos, like get the highest resolution, high quality. The file will be quite big. If you need to send it to somebody, you can always zip file it. But if you're uploading it to a platform, nowadays they do have a limit, but the limit's good. I mean, it's not like you're not limited too much on file size, so you can upload like a large file. So if you upload it to YouTube or TikTok and it's a large file, it shouldn't have a problem. Once you've uploaded it, the platform itself will compress it for its platform. But it can always reduce the quality slightly or adjust it. But if you got low quality, you can't make it better quality. So start off with a good quality content, and good quality when it comes to the visuals and everything, higher resolution, and then let the platform compress it itself. If you're struggling to upload onto a platform because of the file size, you would have to compress it and then submit it, because you don't want to be having to edit your file or making your video shorter just because of the file size, because obviously that would eat into your creativity. The templates, there's a huge amount of templates on Canva. We'll quickly have a look at them in a second. So basically, all you do is you choose a template, the right one for your social platform, and you edit it in the actual template as if it was your own creation, and you start from there. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody expects you to start from scratch. Everybody kind of builds. If you're a developer, still there's code out there that you would start off with. You won't start from scratch. If you're a designer, you use templates. It's normal, okay? It's not cheating. It's normal. That's what they're there for. So you start off with a template, you customize it, you build into it. You can also save your templates as well. So templates provide structure. You don't have to mess around with the layouts. It's all kind of consistent branding. You've got different pages that you can use or different scenes. So it's a guide to follow. Okay. So to speed up your creation, use templates, basically. It helps a lot, when you're choosing animations and everything, because obviously somebody's spent time creating those and placing everything how it should be. So, like I say, you can build your own templates. What that means is you create something yourself, you really like it, you want to use it again, you can just save it. Okay, so save it and then use it again and again. You can literally create a copy of any presentation, any video, by doing a right click on the platform. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so before I go away from this presentation, I just want to just go through the course impact again. So understanding how video creators work, how Canva's video creators work, learn how the platform operates. We've had many goes at using Canva now, be able to create high quality videos. Obviously, that depends on what you're bringing in. But if you're using templates, it will be high quality. But when you're using other people's footage as well, think about the quality and the consistency and being able to optimize your content for different uses. That's about when you're downloading the content, making sure that it's high resolution. So what I'm going to do now is go back into Canva. Okay, so when we're in Canva, okay, we go to templates and then we choose from all these templates here, we choose video, but you can also choose mobile video, okay? Or there's others that you can go for and it will take you to the same place. So video, see all, we can click here. So I'm going to click on that one. Once you click on that, also like if you clicked on, so it's opened this, right? So if you clicked on create here, it's the same place, okay? So there's different ways of getting to the same place, basically. So once you're on this screen and if you were on presentation, for example, you're seeing the presentation templates, or if you were anywhere else, you'd have to go to the video section. So you'd have to click on videos. Once you've clicked on videos, there's some quick actions up here. There's some video templates for social here, and then there's video templates in general. That's kind of the showcasing. Okay, so if you know what platform you're going to create it for, then just go for that. So video for TikTok, for example, and it will open the right size, the right dimension. It'll give you a timeline, okay, to drag drop stuff, and then you'll open the templates for you. Okay, so some of you might remember that we did some of this on another session, but the templates are now all vertical. They're all for the right dimension of this canvas, and then the timeline is there for me to drag and drop as well. So now if I wanted to create a video, I can do it from here by using any of these scenes. I can drag and drop it onto the platform, onto the timeline, sorry. So I think I don't even have to drag and drop. I think I can just select it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, you select it because some of them have five or six scenes, right? So click on that one. Can you see it's got 5 pages, what it calls pages, but they're all videos and they're all related to each other. So using all these five would actually work. So to basically get it on the timeline, if you hover over it, it says a plus sign. So you literally click on it and it adds. Click on it and it adds. Click, 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 right? So you can see it's added them. And because they're grouped together, they should flow as well. So if you watch it, scene wise, it's flowing. Okay. So you must have seen TikTok videos like this where they've got multiple scenes and they've got some text in the middle. So this is how they created. So you've got the text in the middle. Now, if that's too small, click on it, expand it, make it bigger. So you go to the little circle, expand it, and then put it in the middle. Then you can edit it, change what it says there, put your own quotes in or something, and then put your audio in there as well. Okay, so you get your audio. You could be recording voice, put some audio from there, and then when you play it, it'll play the audio with the scene, and then you've created a video, right? So you could do that with templates, but some templates have various things in it that you may want, and you just change the video. Okay, so it could be the transitions you want, or the text, or the layout. So it could be that it has certain things you want, and you want to just change the video, right? Sometimes it could be that you want to keep the video, and since these videos are available, you can use them. Okay, they're there for you to use, but you can even put your own videos in between these videos. So videos that you've taken of the rainy day, you can include it within professional shots that you've got from Canva. Okay, so using templates, literally you just click on elements to get like videos and stuff, like videos here, got loads of videos. But if you want to design, you'll get the templates. So for elements, you go to elements like videos and stuff, but there's templates there that gives you that extra. Like for example, this one. Can you see how they got the text? Got the text in the middle there. And when I clicked on that one, it brought that clip in. And if you look at how that clip is, if I just go to the timeline, if you look at how that clip is, it's done all that for you that you wouldn't. So every layer has got something on it, animations and text, and it's basically created something like a search. So for you to even build that, you might have to do a lot of thinking. You wouldn't know where to start. But since that's already built in, all you need to do is change that video, which is this layer, to your own video and keep this part. And then if you want to change the text, you just click on that and change the text. But it's got your video in and it's relevant, and you've got the graphics that looks really cool with the search. Okay, so you might find another one that's similar, like where you've got some graphics that looks really cool. Okay, so just look at the templates from like this one, for example. So it's got like a photo that's being shared, but the transitions used to make it, is quite creative. So you want to use that. So if you play it, so it's a photo with another photo in the middle. That's like a slideshow. So they've got the slideshow there, and you've got a video behind it. But also, it's good to study these templates to understand how it's created, so you can create your own. So you've got video on the bottom layer, then you've got some graphics, then you've got almost like images going across, and they've just literally made it smaller so you can see a bit of the video in the background. So that's a good way of learning. Okay, so we're basically out of time. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you go to the chat and just kind of give a score between 1 and 10 to how useful you found the session, so that I can understand how it's all going. And if anybody's struggling, that'll be awesome. And do click on some of these video videos that people have created, because it always helps you to see other people's creativity and get inspired as well. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great evening. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.